Hello everyone, my name is Sabine. I'm the Community Engagement Officer at Timberland District Healthcare Service, and welcome to our July edition of our newsletter. In the last couple of months I have been joined by different staff members just to introduce them to our community and put a face to the name, but also to help me highlight some of the health awareness during this month. And this month I'm joined by our diabetes educator, Cheryl. Cheryl Paul, hi, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me this month for this month's update. Now I think a lot of people in the community would know you, Cheryl, but just can you, for those that don't know you, can you tell them a little bit about yourself and how you got to work at TDHS and what you do?
So I'm the diabetes educator at TDHS, and I've got a nursing background, mainly in community health. And at TDHS I get referrals from GPs, hospitals. People can refer themselves, so they might have a new diagnosis of diabetes, type 1, type 2 or gestational diabetes, and we can do a little bit of education and see what their needs are and work from there. I also see people that are starting insulin, so just help them with that, and there's some new injectables weekly medications as well, and help people with starting their new scripts. And we also, there's CGM, you might have seen in the news, type 1s now have funded CGM, so I can help people fill out the forms to access that and show them how to use it. And then for some people like me to continue monitoring them remotely when they're using their CGM and give them feedback and just work together to help them achieve what they want to. And new glucometers I can give out if anyone needs that, NDSS forms so they can get subsidised needles and strips and things like that from the chemist. So so anyone can ring up and make a referral, and the girls will send me a message if I'm not there on that day, and I can catch up with them on the Thursday. If people need to do it over the phone, I can do that as well if they can't get in for some reason. So,
yeah, and you are one day a week, and you actually work at different healthcare services as well, don't you?
Yeah,
so,
I do. Yeah.
So, and family and kids, and I believe you've got a beautiful puppy.
I do. I've got 4 children. They're all at home at the moment. They come and they go, and I live in Darrenellum and enjoy coming to TDS to work. So
Yep. And some might have seen the work, live and play video of Cheryl, and talking a bit more about her family and how she relaxes outside work as well. So thank you for that, Cheryl, to introduce yourself a little bit more. Now this July is Dryish July, which is a fundraiser for a lot of different cancers. Now we've got this beautiful, powerful story of Vin Ayres in our current quarterly, who actually talks about his cancer, but also his diabetes that actually came from cancer treatment, didn't it, Cheryl?
yeah, so Vin was a little bit unlucky. So he had renal cancer, and he was having immunotherapy treatment for his renal cancer. So they basically, your immune system gets a boost for you to attack the cancer cells. Unfortunately for Vin, the cancer actually attacked his pancreas, and the beta cells were no longer able to produce insulin. So overnight he was given a diagnosis of type 1 diabetes, and he spent a little while in ICU at Warrnambool and a bit of time on the ward, and then he came back to TDHS, and we're very lucky to have a small hospital, so he was well supported by Dr. Rouse and the nurses there to give him an opportunity, and also June, to learn more about diabetes and how to administer insulin. So he no longer produces any insulin himself. It all has to be provided by injection. So June's done a wonderful job learning how to use new technology. and being able to look after Vin. He's gone home. Initially he was supported by district nursing, so it's wonderful to have the local district nursing service, and then the allied health service could also support him remotely and make contact with him when needed. And yeah, that's been a great result. And now June's become the teacher, so she's had student nurses out there, and she's been able to educate student nurses on how the CGM works. So it's great result for Vin and June, and just a brilliant service that we have locally. So that's really good.
Yeah, it's great to do that remotely, and that means, like you say, that Vin can stay at home and in his own environment.
And he's just thriving. He's got his mates coming over, and it's just beautiful to see that change. Yeah, from a very sick man to one that's resuming some normal activities.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's great. And National Diabetes Week is this July as well, from the 10th to the 16th of July. They had the Heads Up Diabetes campaign, which focuses a lot about the stigma on diabetes, and they're continuing this year as well, don't they?
Yeah, they have had the same campaign for a few years, and it's just with diabetes comes a lot of burden, and I think in the community there's a lot of myths about how you get diabetes, whether it's type 1, type 2 or gestational diabetes, and I think it's a good opportunity to learn more about diabetes so you can understand what people are going through. There's reputable websites that you can access rather than just myths that you hear. This week I saw the analogy that diabetes is like juggling, so takes a lot of practice to learn, and you can also become very tired if you're juggling for a long time, and you may drop the ball. And I think if people have dropped the ball, that's a time to speak up. If your mental health is a concern, let your doctor know, or let your other allied health staff know, just family know, and we can support you. And you'll pick that ball back up and start juggling again. So that's great.
That's great advice. Because mental health, often people don't relate that either with diabetes, but it would have a big impact on people's mental health as well.
Absolutely. We see some people that have had type 1 diabetes for 60 years, so that's every day they've had to have insulin, they've had to monitor what they eat and take their blood sugars, and so these new technologies are reducing some of the burden, and they can see the advantage of them. Things they had to do years ago have improved, but basically the treatment is the same. So
No, that's good to hear about that and make people aware about that part of diabetes. Being a farming community, National Farmers Safety Week is in the 3rd week of July, and I guess this is probably also a good way of making people aware about how farmers use now. There's a lot of modern technology around, like tractors are getting more modernised and tools are being more modernised, so farmers might not be as active as they used to be, and I guess also they probably look better after animals than themselves. And that again could make cause, or they have to look after themselves because there's that silent factor of diabetes. Can you tell us a little bit more about that connection as well, being a farmer?
Absolutely. They reckon in Australia there's 500,000 people with diabetes that don't know that they have diabetes.
Wow.
Farming men, women and agricultural workers statistically have an increased risk of developing diabetes. When we think of farming, we think of an active lifestyle, but like you say, over years we're spending more time in tractors, more time behind a desk, many hours doing paperwork and being more sedentary, so any excess energy not used can be stored as fat, and a large girth, along with lots of other factors such as your ethnicity, your age, your family history, they're all risk factors for diabetes. And I think often, like you said, farmers prioritise their animals. But because diabetes is so silent, it's important to go to your GP every year, book ahead, make sure you are screened for diabetes, and then when you pick it up earlier, you can treat much more easily and prevent complications. And if you have diabetes already, it's important as a farmer to look after your feet, make sure you have your annual podiatry appointment, make sure you have your eyes checked, and if you notice your sugars are increasing, speak to your doctor, and there's medications that can be introduced to your regime, and it's all about reducing the risk, reducing that circulating sugar and preventing complications. So yeah, look after yourself.
Yes, which is we often look after others more than we look after ourselves, don't we?
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's definitely good advice. Now, winter, as we've all been feeling the cold lately, winter wellness is very important with regards to diabetes as well, isn't it, Cheryl?
Yeah, absolutely. In winter, again, we're more sedentary. We want to stay inside, keep warm, but our suggestion would be to rug up, keep those extremities warm, and go outside and enjoy some outdoor time, or catch up with friends and family and have a chat. It's good for your mental health, and just that incidental exercise is really good. Keep hydrated. If you notice a change in your diabetes, certainly contact your GP or the diabetes educator, and we can see how we can help you. So if you've got neuropathy, that's maybe more noticeable in winter because your extremities get cold.
What is neuropathy?
So basically it's nerve damage,
okay,
and often more common in the extremities, so your feet and hands.
Okay,
so,
yep.
So go for that annual check with the podiatrist, and they'll certainly assess your circulation, and you can discuss with your pharmacist different ways of treating neuropathy from topical applications, and your GP can discuss pain management with pharmaceutical medications. So.
Yeah. And anything else that you would like to add or tell the community, with regards to diabetes, and any other advice you would like to?
Just if you're struggling, speak up, and there's help out there. And if you're living with someone that has diabetes, be kind and supportive. And if you're caring for someone that's older and maybe they can no longer look after their diabetes themselves, we can also offer you some assistance as well. So.
Fantastic. Well, that's all very great advice. Thank you so much, Cheryl, for helping me highlight the awarenesses for this month of July.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cheryl already kind of briefly mentioned about winter wellness, but we've actually got a winter wellness video series coming out soon, where we've got different, including Cheryl and some of our other allied health staff, talking about different tips and ideas for winter wellness. So keep an eye on that on our Facebook page. And also briefly want to mention about Kind July, as Cheryl also mentioned as well. Be kind to each other. We are a very kind community, so I'm sure I don't have to remind our community to be kind, but we do get a bit weary, and with cold and flu and everything, COVID still going around, still some restrictions happening in some part of our community. Please be kind and look after yourself, but also each other, and together we can get through this and keep on working for a healthy community. Thank you. Thanks, Cheryl.
Thank you.